bring a friend of mine. I don't know if I should call him a friend out loud in front of everybody, because every time I see this guy, he insults me. But welcome to In the Dirt, a good friend of mine. I've known him for a few years now. And this part is weird to say, but former announcer for the World of Outlaws Late Model Series, Rick Eshelman, welcome to In the Dirt.
Webster, how are you, buddy?
I am. It's Monday, and we are breathing, and the show is on, so we are well.
That is good to hear. So how are things in the dirt?
Well, we got rain. My weekend was ruined. We got rained out at Tazewell, so the third installment of the Chevrolet Performance Super Late Model Series did not get to go. So, and my co-host Brian Gray, he was at the North South. It didn't end up exactly the way he wanted to. But like I said, it's Monday. We're breathing. Everything's fine. Now, about a month ago, or maybe a little bit less than a month ago, but it comes over the wire that Rick Eshelman is no longer the voice of the World of Outlaws. And I think it took everybody a bit by surprise. And of course, the idiot boards are lit up with everything from here to there on what the reasoning was. But first of all, you were with the World of Outlaws for 9 years. I mean, talk about being with the group that long and calling the racing your affection for the guys at the World of Outlaws.
Well, here's the deal, Webb. July the 19th, I did resign with the World of Outlaws and the World Racing Group. On July 20th, I was actually talking to my good friend Joe Dirt over on Racing Nation, a show in Florida, and it was too early to delve into exactly the reasons behind this, but I thought I would share this with you this evening just to kind of clear up any misconceptions, that people may be drawing conclusions. And I want to say that there are no hard feelings. I wish nothing but the best for the World Racing Group, all its entities, and the World of Outlaws Late Model Series, which I was a part of, from the beginning when they had the first 6 races at Volusia Speedway Park. I got to call those. I did one in March at Bulls Gap, and then I finally went on full-time with them in July of 2004. I don't have anything bad to say about any of those people. They gave me employment. They were a great group to work with. And, if it weren't for people like Alex Cummings, who is in the marketing department, who helped me out a lot with the extra duties I had, Katie Boyer at the audio-visual part and Dirt Radio Network, and, of course, Tyler Bachman, who I worked close with. He's the pit steward for the Outlaws. If it weren't for people like that, my job would have been even harder. But the bottom line, the reason for this departure, Webb, was basically one word and one word only: tired. I've announced for 35 years. I've been in this sport for 38 years. And I've come to realize that this sport, and especially the position I was in, is a job that's for a younger man. I'm 52. I've still got life in me. I've still got announcing in me. I'm hoping that people will want me to do this, as long as I possibly can entertain a crowd. But I felt it was time for a change. I felt it was time that, the World of Outlaws got somebody in there that had more energy than I did. I did not want to let my lack of, my fatigue impede the job that I did for the World of Outlaws. I did not want that to suffer. I didn't want the broadcast over the Internet to suffer, and I sure didn't want the fans to be, disappointed in listening to someone who's half-hearted. I'm not half-hearted. I'm just tired, Webb. I mean, that's the bottom line. That's the reason for the departure. Sometimes change is good, and I'm not proud of the way I left. I left mid-season. A professional wouldn't do that. But I felt that if I didn't, I was going to make everybody around me miserable, and I was trying to look out for those that had employed me for the last 10 years, and I didn't want them to have, a 50% product of something that should be 100%.
And the one thing that shouldn't get lost in all this, and tired is the best, is the only explanation that you need, really. But people need to realize that when you probably got told 100 times, man, or a million times, man, what a job. Man, the life on the road is not as glamorous as it looks on Facebook.
Here's the deal with that, too. Being the announcer of the World of Outlaws Late Model Series, in my mind, was the job to have in dirt racing. I mean, you get to travel the country. You work closely with a group of usually 12 teams consistently that I considered my family, and I hope they considered me part of theirs. I worked with a tight-knit group of employees on this World of Outlaws Late Model Series that had each other's back, and we worked as a cohesive unit. Let's face it, there were 7 people out there doing the job that some series have 10 people, some have 12, some have 15. We did it with 7, and we did it right. And if we made a mistake, we kicked ourselves because we felt, that we were letting everybody down. We were a group that prided ourselves on putting on a good show, a fast show, and an entertaining show. And I think that's what has made the World of Outlaws Late Model Series such a good show for people to go see. Now, I'm not knocking other series. Don't get me wrong. They have a good product, too. I just felt that, being a part of that series, that we had the best thing going, and I miss it. Don't get me wrong. I do miss it. But on the other side of the coin, it is time for somebody new to come in there. The same reason I left Eldora Speedway. I did not want to do the Dream in the World anymore due to the fact that I realized it is a young man's sport. There are fresh voices out there that need to be heard, and I appreciate Larry Bowes, Earl Baltus, Roger Slack, Tony Stewart, all those that gave me the chance there to call some of the greatest races in the world. And I will miss that too. But on the other side, like I said, Webb, I'm not to the point yet where I'm holding a cardboard sign that says we'll announce for food.
Now, you picked up some things. I ran into you at East Alabama. You were calling a race for the National Late Model Series. You filled in for a absent Chris Tilley during the Southern Nationals. Well, I mean, other than picking up here and there, is there anything on your radar that is a definite constant?
Well, for the rest of this year, as far as I can see, I'll be doing racing at a couple of tracks in Georgia. I got a couple nailed down in Alabama, one being my home track, the East Alabama Motor Speedway. I'll be doing the Alabama State Championship and, of course, the National 100 and the 2 marquee races at EAMS. But, I'm going to keep the options open. I would love to get out and maybe do something in 2014 at a moderate scale. Maybe not something that's 50 races a year and 8,000 miles of travel a trip and stuff like that, which I would like to do something again, be a part of something special, which I was. And, again, I'm going to say I miss the World of Outlaws. Don't get me wrong. I thought that was the greatest job, and it is the greatest job in dirt racing just because of what it is and what it's become. But somebody else is going to go out there and take the reins, somebody younger, and, I'll be forgotten about after a while, and I understand that. It's all part of getting old, time passing by, people move on. I just, I wish the best for everybody that I was involved with.
I don't hardly think that you're going to get forgotten. But now you probably read as much as I do on our sport, and especially with your departure, there was some chatter out there. What's one of the things that stood? I mean, there's lots of fans that say, "Whoa, where's he at? We miss him." What's something you read that really kind of grabbed you?
Well, there's a couple of things. Obviously, you're going to have critics, and I appreciated those that come out and said how they felt about me if it was in a negative way. Nobody's perfect. We all know this. And sometimes those comments help make a person better. And some of the comments that came out about me, which I'm not going to delve because we're not going to get into a personal thing, it's good to hear, the things you do wrong. That's constructive criticism. And the people that said the nice things especially on 4M and on Twitter, thank you to all of you because the show was never about me. The World of Outlaws and the announcing was never about me. It was about those drivers out there putting their lives on the line to entertain those great race fans that came in attendance. Those guys were the show. They always will be the show. To drive a dirt late model over 100 miles an hour through a corner is the most impressive thing I think I've ever seen, short of the birth of my child. I mean, it's just that impressive. Those guys are true professionals, and to watch what they do, it just put me in awe. But I got to describe it, and that was the great thing about it.
Do you know the exact number of races you called for the World of Outlaws since day one?
Give or take about 350 or so. They're going to possibly reach their 400th race since February of 2004 this year, which is another milestone. I got to be a part of all 300 milestone races, and, to see a series that they said wouldn't last a year. Well, here they are in year number 10. They're still going on. So it just goes to prove that, you know, the naysayers are always going to be out there, but the proof is in the pudding. You need to see a World of Outlaws show. It is a truly well-run, tight ship. The races get done on time. The drivers are great. The action is there. I mean, go see all your racing. Support dirt racing, because I sure as heck am.
Which out of all, I mean, probably an impossible question to answer, but I'll ask it anyway. Which race stands out the most to you in those 300 and so races?
Well, I'm going to have to say it would be the first one I did officially as the announcer. Like I said, I did 6 races in February of 2004, and I did one in March. But the first official race, and it was probably one of the best ones I ever saw, at Tri-State Speedway in Hobstadt, Indiana. Billy Moyer running third down the backstretch on the final lap. They had taken a white. He was third. He won the race at the start-finish line. And that was just a phenomenal way to start my career. And I thought, God, this is cool. I need to do this. And I did. But as you know, you get older and responsibilities are there for you to maintain. And when you feel in your mind and in your heart, and especially in your body, that you can no longer maintain those responsibilities, you need to admit it and move on. And that's what I did. That's it, Webb. That's the bottom line of why I'm not with the World of Outlaws Late Model Series. And, you know, I'm going to catch a show when I can. If I'm in the area and they're in my area, vice versa, just like I do Lucas. I went to see a Lucas race before. You know, I support this stuff because this was my life. This has been my life for 38 years, and I'll be damned if I'm going to throw it away now just because I left an organization.
Well, part of the reason having you on is I wanted you to have your say, your time to put out there the true statements, the true facts of the situation. So once again, I appreciate your friendship, even though, hey, Brian, listen, literally, this guy he is more abrasive and abusive than my wife is. My wife is actually nicer to me. And, you know, your wife's supposed to call you, hey, dummy. Hey, here comes, he can't even work his camera. Oh, it's sound. He rakes me over the coals. But no, seriously.
Hey, if I didn't love you, Webb, I wouldn't do it, buddy.
Exactly. And anytime you want to come join us here, listen, you have a home in the dirt. Now, I could probably only pay you in my self-esteem.
Not about the money, it's about the friendship, pal.
We certainly would have you here anytime. How can people, is there a certain way you want people to get a hold of you? If there's a promoter out there listening that may be able to get you to the racetrack, how can they get a hold of you?
Well, I do have most of the promoters that I've been in touch with have my phone number, but if you want to email me, I'll read and respond to any email that comes across. I don't have a Twitter account. I'm technically challenged. I'm not on Facebook, again, technically challenged, but I will give out my email address. It's Ricky, RICKYESH, 1961 @gmail.com. And I'm only doing that because there's been, you know, so many great people I would love to talk to that I won't get to see anymore. And those that, you know, if you want to send out a shout-out or something that says, you know, you suck, I'm going to read that too. You know, whatever you people feel, because if it wasn't for you race fans in those stands, those drivers wouldn't be able to get paid. Us officials wouldn't have a job to do. So, you know, the race fans are number one in my book. They always have been. I don't care where you're at. You know, there's passion in those grandstands, whether they're booing that driver, cheering that driver, cussing at that driver, or wanting to marry that driver. They are there in full force, and that's what racing is all about. So to all the fans, I do apologize for leaving, and hopefully you guys can understand why now and maybe make it a little easier on you to understand why things happen. But bottom line is, guys, I think it was time for a change, and I just hope I didn't step on too many toes and hurt too many feelings by doing it.
Well, Rick, good luck moving forward. I'm sure you're going to land on your feet several times over. So tell Miss Sandy we said hello, and I guess I'll see you at the National 100.
If not sooner, Webb, you never know. I got to come find a place to insult you.
You come to the house, we'll have some sweet tea. I'll let you do it at my house.
There you go. Hey, Webb, thanks for having me on. I do appreciate what you do for the sport, too, buddy. Keep up doing a good job because you are one of the best.
I appreciate it. No, I walk in your footsteps, brother. Rick Eshelman.